think it's important for any fantasy world to have a sense of style, and developing that sense of style can be a lot more fun than you might expect. So whether you want to design clothing for your fantasy world, or you just want to look at interesting outfits, in this video I'll show you my 4-step process for designing outfits, and you can follow along. Good morning, afternoon, and evening, and welcome to the Akellæren Journals, my series where I develop my own Christian fantasy land, Akellæren, and take you along for the quest. Clothing can really set the scene for your fantasy world, and you can tell a story and explain something with clothing as easily as with words. If I showed you a person wearing trousers with claw marks, a much worn-down fur-covered jacket, and thick leather gloves that have seen better days, it might not be that hard to deduce that this person works with animals, and potentially dangerous ones too, and that this is maybe their work outfit. Beyond that, the types of clothing people wear in a region tell you about their environment and what materials they have access to. God made the world very abundant and beautiful, and there are lots of different materials and environments that might affect your clothing. Think about what materials would be rare, even if they wouldn't be rare in a way that we're used to. In Akellæren, it's very cold, and there are a lot of different animals, which means people wear a lot of fur and leather. As a society, they like dressing nice. But they're also practical people, so how would that affect their fashion? The more Sketch explores the woods around her newfound atelier, the quest hall, the more she realizes just how isolated it is. She knows she's on the west coast of Akellæren, somewhere in the Weald. But even in flying here on the dragon lifts, she had seen no major towns or buildings. Something is strange here, but she can't figure out exactly what. Nothing. Nothing and no one in sight, Paige. This is a nice spot, though. To whomsoever finds this key. What a blessing. The first step is one I very much enjoy, and that is, of course, gathering references. Step 1 is to figure out what you want to take reference of. Is there a particular time period your fantasy world is from? Is it cold in your world or hot? Is there a particular fabric type they would have access to? Is there a particular fantasy that you like the outfits of? Is there a particular clothing type or feature that you like? Go to whatever site you use to look up pictures and try to answer all those questions. Consider what it would take to make those sort of clothes, and what people with certain jobs would have to wear. Like I said, Akellæren is cold. They have access to lots of animals, which means furs and leather. It's also set in 1880s, so obviously I drew some inspiration from that. These are some of the features I've found that I like. Coattails, high collars, cravats, corsets on the outside, like on Fantasy, double-breasted waistcoats, capelets, and regular coats and capes, trench coats, suit coats, long-fitted but simple dresses, dresses with an emperor-line skirt, bundad dresses, lots of leather straps and satchels, pouches and armor, long gloves, archery, and artist gloves, gloves without fingers, big, tall leather boots. I also noticed that 1880s dresses have an exaggerated silhouette. The fabrics I like are tweed, houndstooth, tartan, very sparingly, wool, certain silks, also sparingly. I do think the woman's fashion would be back down in Akellæren, less dramatic and impractical. Though people in Akellæren like clothing, they are more focused on movement and practicality than other 1880s places. I held a vote to see which style of clothing everybody wanted to see in this video, and everyone voted for Explorer/Researcher. So that is the theme of the clothing designs today. If you want to have a say in the next Akellæren Journals theme, I hold votes, so feel free to check those out. I started by sketching all the design elements I was thinking of adding. I'm making 4 outfits from 2 prompts in this video, so I'll have to get creative to vary it. As a bonus though, I love both Researcher and Explorer outfits. Okay, the first outfit I wanted to be a sort of casual one. Like maybe they're going to study something in the woods around the research station, and this is the outfit they'd wear. I feel like in Akellæren they would be very knowledge-focused, and so having a research station where people can go to research things seems like a very reasonable assumption. They'd need something breathable and comfortable, but also with space for the tools they would need to use in the field. I went with a women's look for this one, so I knew I wanted a nice flowy dress. I sectioned it off with a corset on the top of the skirt. Then I added an outer layer which was a little off-the-shoulder furred shawl, and a matching open skirt. I don't know if that's what it's actually called, but it looks good. Then I made sure to add a good satchel with lots of pouches and detailed the shawl pendant a little bit more. Then it was time for outfit 2. I wanted this one to be a little more exploratory, like the person is going deep into the woods to research some elusive species or an archaeological site. So something a little more sturdy. I went with a man's outfit and gave it a big long coat, probably made out of some durable Akellæren fabric. I did leather, shoulder, elbow, and knee armor, just in case they should run into anything, a belt with lots of pouches to carry supplies, and a casual undershirt that they wouldn't mind getting a little torn up. Last, I sketched the boots, the knee armor, and what the shoulder armor would look like from the back. And I'm pretty happy with this one. Outfit 3 is more of a researcher about town look, so I did a little more high fashion. Maybe they study things in the museum, or they spend their days searching for answers in an old library. I wanted to do a double-breasted waistcoat with a cravat for this one. I went with a men's outfit and made it a little fancy and elegant. Going around town, I feel like they wouldn't need as many places to hold their equipment, so no pouches or satchels on this one. I gave the coat a shoulder-level capelet. Again, it's such a hard time figuring out what these are actually called. And lastly, some shoes that are better suited for walking cobblestones than hiking. Last but not least, outfit 4. This one is for someone going deep into the Weald to study possibly dangerous creatures and the ruins of ancient kingdoms. I wanted to do a sleeveless outfit with a big fur hood. I chose a woman's outfit and gave it an open skirt so she could run at full speed if need be. Tall boots and a cloth wrap high collar. I did more of a thick belt this time and gave the outfit a large backpack for large amounts of supplies. Fur-lined arm cuffs and high boots with leather straps finish off the last design. I'm pretty happy with all of these. I think they turned out different enough to be each their own distinct outfit. And I loved considering the way someone's job might interact with their outfit, and how that would change what they need to wear for work. Paige, what's the point of a quest hall or dragon lift, leagues from any civilization or point of interest? One more mystery to add to the vault, I suppose. I tried a couple other ideas before I settled on this one. I finally decided to paint the designs onto a piece of paper and then cut them out like stickers. Stickers with no stick. I think clothing is one of my favorite things to design. I love mixing different styles and items to make a completely different outfit, and considering how to make their clothing look like it fits their job. I think every good fantasy setting needs a sense of style. That way, if anyone sees a character from that world, they can easily tell where it came from. I like to use How to Train Your Dragons as an example for this. If you're familiar with it, you quickly know where any of the outfits came from when you see them. For the first outfit, I added a book and fossils. A quick side note, I do plan on making some dinosaur-inspired creature designs because I love dinosaurs. For the second outfit, I added some plants and other nature bits because I can imagine this design walking through the woods and collecting little mushrooms and samples of things. The third outfit, I gave little jars and vials for collecting specimens that maybe need a little safer containment and you probably shouldn't touch with your hands. And finally, for the fourth outfit, I didn't really add anything, but I did give it a more dynamic pose. Akellæren is wild and remote, but not without civilization. Many people live on the islands and the rings that surround them, and in the towns and the kingdoms, you'll find that the people of Akellæren have a definite sense of style. Their clothes tend to be shades of browns, creams, blues, and greens. There are many different places and jobs in Akellæren, but those who choose to wander far afield in quest of new knowledge wear sensible and academic outfits, even when they're deep in the Weald. There are many other styles in Akellæren, so maybe someday we'll learn more about the different types, and perhaps even more about the materials they use and the way certain features rose to popularity. The Lord made an amazing and vast world, and many have the curiosity to see, explore, and learn more about it. And if you're one of those types of people, then maybe you'd wear something like this if you should ever end up in Akellæren. I can't wait to make more clothing designs and see what else there is to find in Akellæren, and perhaps, if your interest has been piqued, you'll come along too. And here are the final results. And I couldn't be happier with them. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back the Sunday after next for the next Akellæren Journals. God bless and Godspeed. The next researching focus will be all the different folk of Akellæren.